everyone, and welcome to another Gadget Talk. Chad, you look a little relaxed tonight.
I am actually tonight. Derek's actually going to do the build, so I got to sit here and read the chat. We're going to do a switcheroo here, so it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this actually helps me. I had a lot of stuff trying to get done. Usually today's my shoot day, anyways, but I had a lot of stuff that needed to get done, so I was able to kind of prep everything, and then kind of work on some other stuff, other projects that are coming up that we're going to tease some stuff a little bit later. After we do our announcements. We're going to bring somebody special on real quick to kind of tease something, but that's some of the stuff that I was working on today for something, but that's for a little bit. But yeah, we're going to be doing my sci-fi build, actually building the container for it tonight, morning, wherever you are, because I know I saw Darren on here from Australia and some others on here.
But we're just doing part of it, right? We're not doing the whole thing.
No, we're not doing the whole thing. I'm not revealing.
That's next week.
What is the sci-fi genre, the show, or anything like that? I'm not revealing that. We're just building the box tonight and adding some really cool stuff. A gadget bean spilling. That's from Houston Dave. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm not spilling any beans on anything. But let's go ahead and take care of our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with these special announcement.
If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today.
Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine Right in the Rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go caching than doing cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and a hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
All right, so first off, Gary's here. I don't know why he's here, but yeah, I do. But anyway, but I just want to say thanks to all our sponsors. Becoming a patron, those are our patrons. You guys are awesome. We love you guys. FTF Magazine, thank you so much. Really, some great stuff on there. Have many guests that have been on there as well. And of course, Logwork, everything that y'all do for us, putting stuff in caches and the Right in the Rain paper, everything that you put on your Logwork is a fantastic logbook. It is great. So I just want to say thank you to all those. Also, don't forget to visit our store, get shirts like what I have on tonight, which coming up. If any of the podcast coins or anything like that, remember the coins that are on there. Once they're gone, they're gone. That's the end of those. So don't forget about that. All right, Gary, what are you here for?
We have a big announcement. So I don't know. You want to do special?
Yeah. Let's see here. Yes. Let's see if Okay.
So, been about 3 years now since we expanded from one podcast to 5. But we've also added, well, of course, we added, for a while there, we had a 6th, but we've got the 5 podcasts, one audio with I Love You doing the geocaching with kids. So
thank you.
Great one. I enjoy all the shows. I think all the shows have been great. But we put our heads together and we really wanted to bring to the forefront another show, another podcast. Again, we debated about what we wanted to do, but we had overwhelming response inside the group of what we wanted to do once it was suggested that we do this. And so everybody was like, oh yeah, that is the show to do. So Fridays, we're going to be doing this new show. There's the logo for it. Actually,
it's blurred
it's
out though.
Blurred logo because we don't want to reveal everything until the premiere. The premiere will be Friday night, and none of us are going to be none of us are hosts. We have brand new hosts, brand new people to the network. We're very excited about this new show. So there you go.
That's going to be every Friday. That's every Friday from here on out, right?
Yes, Friday.
Is it just one Friday a month? Because I know some of the shows do multiple kind of things.
Yeah, no, they're kind of like the old school.
Okay.
I think they're like the old school Challenge Talk, where they're gonna do one a month.
Or Geocache Talk, not Challenge Talk.
Challenge Talk. Well, Challenge Talk was once a month for a while.
Once a month, right? So, okay.
Yep. Oh, Geo Coin Talk was somebody suggested that. I can't reveal too much. I can't spill too many beans tonight. I mean, that's about
no.
That's all the beans I can spill. But
yep.
But yeah, we're excited, and so definitely keep an eye out for Tuesday. Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they brought in a professional.
We brought in a professional bean spiller.
Well, let me tell you what it is. No, I can't do that.
All right, so we're done with
Yeah,
him.
there we go. I have to keep my hand on the mute button here.
Go back to Gadget Talk, but check it out Friday night. Keep an eye out for that. You definitely got to catch the premiere. Because you're gonna see so many cool things. Yeah.
I mean, of course, I did the logo and I've done the open for it, so I'm excited. I'm super excited for it.
I'm gonna have to meet Derek too.
Yeah, Derek will produce that one as well.
I'll be producing it. I'll be in the background.
I don't want him to say anything.
Yeah, I can't say anything because it's Gary's job spilling beans. We don't want to pull a Gary.
That's right. Well, and I was gonna kind of tease the host, but I can't even really do that. But just to say that the hosts are
I don't know what he was going to say, but I wanted to pull him just in case.
Just stay tuned. It's going to be epic.
Yep, it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. It's going to be great.
All right. Good night, everybody.
All right, Gary.
All right. Good night, Gary.
Out of here. I got to build stuff today. All right. See you later. All right. So yeah, it's going to be really a lot of fun. You're not going to want to miss it when the actual show goes live. So, all right. So we're, as Houston Dave says, we're putting the beans back in the fridge. All right. We'll warm them up later and everything. Warmed up beans. Anyway. All right. Won't go there tonight. All right.
All right.
So, Chad, are we ready to do this?
Let's do this. Are you ready to do this?
I think so. I've done live builds before on my channel, but it's a little bit different on this side. It's different. So you're gonna have to watch the chat and keep up with that.
I'll do the best I can. I'm sure I won't do.
So you're gonna have to talk
Derek's
tonight.
job, but I'll do the best.
You're gonna have to talk tonight. I'll talk some.
That's fine. I'll talk. Let's talk.
Hospital Talk, hosted by Gary. Sorry.
Hospital Talk. Oh boy.
Yeah,
that's mean.
I heard challenge was pretty rough on several different ones. So Gary was one. D was another one. Anyway,
heard of a few people.
Yeah, it's rough on several. All right, so I've got. If you watched my channel last week, and you know that I'm building a sci-fi cache, and on my channel last time I went ahead and made like this Lazy Susan. Okay, shows you how to make one of these real quick with the stool slider, or not slider. It's a Lazy Susan kit that I picked up at the hardware store. But tonight I'm going to go ahead and put it into the box, and it's all PVC board, of course. So I'm making it a PVC. It's a huge box. I mean, it is, and I probably just scratched. Nope, it's good. Where is that door?
Gary says he's T1 only for a few weeks right now.
Oh, okay, here it is. So the door on this thing is huge. It's 18 1/4 inches.
That's a big door.
That's how tall this is going to be, just the door itself. I'm not putting the door on tonight because you'll see why I'm not putting it on, because I have to do some cuts on this, but I'm not going to actually cut those tonight. But I'm just going to set that over there now. But we're going to be using some different stuff. I'm going to be doing some, we're going to be wiring up some LEDs. And we're going to be actually making the box itself with the PVC. I'm not putting the roof on or that aspect of it. It's a box and it spins. A TARDIS?
Yeah.
No, it is not a TARDIS. I will tell you that it's not a TARDIS. Love the show.
You'll know next week.
you'll know next week. Next Tuesday, same gadget time, same gadget channel. I'll be doing the final reveal, and you're not going to want to miss it because it's actually going to be really cool. And then on my channel next week, you'll see how I finished it off. So, kind of a big, huge crossover event between Behind the Cache and Gadget Talk this time. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to switch up cameras real quick. Hey, see, there's my build cam, Chad.
Look at that.
So, all right, so this is the bottom, or actually, this is the shelf of the PVC board. And as you can see, this is the PVC board. Can you go ahead and make? Let's go full.
Yeah, I'll
screen
make it big here.
Okay, so there's this side.
So you have a textured side and a smooth side.
This is the textured side, and so I painted the smooth side, and I did this with a flat black, matte black, and I used this Krylon, all-purpose, all-in-one paint and plus primer, and this actually worked really well. This is only one coat on both the PVC board and on the Lazy Susan itself, and you kind of see some other pieces here, and we'll get to those in a little bit. But first thing,
that paint's really good.
Yeah, first things first, I'm actually going to go ahead and mount this in place now, because if I don't mount it, sorry, as I stick my head in this shot, if I don't mount it now, if it's inside, it's going to be hard for me to get my drill down in place to actually put this in place. So, Chad, I finally got one.
Oh, nice.
Picked it up at Harbor Freight this weekend. It was free. It was one of those free things when I...
Oh, well, you can't beat that.
No, I can't beat free. Absolutely not. We were at a dance competition, and it was loud, and so we were getting some new headphones for Curtis, some noise-canceling headphones there, just to help him out. And this was at the front, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. So... just going to go ahead and...
So this is a center punch for people who are a punch. If you haven't watched the show or don't know what it is, I use this on a lot of metal stuff, but it's going to mark the wood.
Right.
So when you press it down, it pops. It has a spring system in it, and it will make an indentation.
And let's see if you can see. You can kind of see a little bit of the divot here. See if I can get close enough to it. There's a little bit of a divot right there where I punched it. And that's so when I put my screws in place now and I'm drilling it in place, they're not going to be like sliding all over the place.
Yeah, and if you're pre-drilling, then your drill bit won't move as well. It won't stay right in that center, especially if you're doing it on metal.
So all I'm doing is just kind of putting this in place, and we will be coming back to this later. And I'm going to go ahead and
you can use regular Phillips heads for these because no one's going to be able to get to them.
Say again?
I said you can use regular Phillips heads for these because no one will be able to get to them.
Right. Because I haven't revealed that part. It's actually the whole Lazy Susan aspect of this, except for the bottom, is going to be, it's all going to be in plexi, so you're not going to be able to get to it. So yeah, all this is going to be behind, and there it is.
Hey, it works.
It works great. And if I mount the object that's going to be on here, if I need to, I can always pull those out for a little bit. And this is 3/4 width. And this, I actually cut this one down, but the actual width of the trim board or the PVC board is 9 1/4. And I got an 8 foot one, and it was $43 for the 8 foot 9 3/4 by 3/4.
Yeah, perfect.
It's not necessarily cheap, but it's not also going to wear out on me either. So, and it's not going to stretch. Why is it that when I start building, I start losing my voice? This happens every time.
I saw you had your water there.
I do. I was taking a drink and I had a, but yeah. All right. So I'm looking. Yes, it's scarce. And so I was seeing that.
Yeah, I was going to mention that it's, well, I don't know. I've never tried to buy it in Australia, but it sounds like it's scarce in Australia.
Right. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side. And because we're going to start building, I'm going to start gluing everything together. So I've got the bottom here. And I did this all the inside of it. It's going to be just this flat black because next week I will be painting some stuff in here. This just gives it the black for the look that I really wanted to go with, because I mean, sci-fi, it's going to be black.
Yeah.
All right. So what I need to do now is actually break out my PVC glue, and I'm going to go ahead and glue the back in, and I'm also going to glue one of the sides in for right now, and then we'll go ahead and start getting everything placed. All right. So
are you just gluing the PVC to PVC?
Yep, PVC to PVC. Really easy. And I'm going to be using my heavy-duty clear PVC cement here. And as those who have watched a lot of my builds, you know I absolutely love using PVC board. It is probably, to me, it's one of the best for a birdhouse. One, I mean, I used to love using wood and using reclaimed wood and that aspect of it. But what's happened is that over time, that wood will start expanding and shrinking and warping and all that. Now, the PVC board isn't going to do that. Once I get it set, it's there in place. So now I'm just going to let that set up for a few minutes. And while that sets, I'll switch over here. Now, one of the things that I did, everything tonight is going to be in PVC board, except for, of course, the Lazy Susan, which has the wood on top. You'll see some different things that I'll be doing on here tonight as well. I'll be using my drill press tonight, because it'll be just real quick to put these holes into the way I'm going to mount my LEDs. And even the way I'm mounting my LEDs is with PVC board. And that's what I have here in my hand right now. This is I've kind of did like a dado down the front of it. And I just used my table saw to do this. Let's see if I can get it in there. I just ran it down one side and then flipped it over and ran it back down the other and just chipped it out. What little space was there. And that's going to give me a channel where the cable of the LEDs are going to go in while I put the LEDs into this piece here. And then eventually it's just going to mount to that. But that also gives me, when I put the plexi in, that gives me a place to mount the plexiglass to it. So this will actually be where the plexi will actually mount to as well. So that's going to help out with that aspect of it. Okay.
Yep. And Ryan asked about the glue sticking through the paint, and I don't believe you painted your joints that you're gluing.
No, not all of them.
So it's better to have the PVC right on PVC to glue.
Right. So we'll see how this. I may end up actually having to put some screws into this one because there is some of the paint is on there, so we'll find out how that does. I may go ahead and put some.
Clear isn't always purple. Later. I don't know what he means on that.
What is it?
Oh, no primer cleaner. You don't need to use primer on this first. No, that's typically something where you're going to run water through it or anything like that. But there's a chance of dirt getting on it. But no, yeah. I wouldn't prime it.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, this is going to be pretty. And I'm just going to kind of.
PVC trees don't grow below the equator.
You what?
Dave Wagner said PVC trees don't glow between the equator. Little known fact. That's funny.
All right, so then I'm just going to put this in place. And make sure it's all nice and level. And you do want to do this when it's in a well-ventilated area. I have a big garage, so I'm not too worried about it right now. If I start talking funny, then you know what's going on.
Oh, we're watching you. So yeah, go through some comments here too. We have a new listener. I don't know if I recall this one. Eat More Possum on here. That sounds like a new name to me. Well, welcome.
Yes, welcome. That does sound like a new name.
Yeah. I think I would remember that one. That's like Scooby Loves Pooh. I can't forget that name.
So while this is trying to set, I'm actually going to put a clamp on that to kind of pull it. And yeah, I can see, you're right, some of that paint is coming off on the back of this. So that's actually, when I did the whole paint of this, I should have thought about that as well. And I kind of did. So I maybe
put it together and then paint just the outside of it next time.
Yeah. I thought about that too, but I wanted to do this build on here. So what I may end up doing, once we get it in here, I may go ahead and run. I'll fire up my compressor, because I should have had that in there, and I'll go ahead and hit some nails on the back of it, some finishing nails, just kind of pull that together a little bit. But that's part of this. So yeah, that's a good thing. It did pull it out a little bit. But usually I do, once it's done, I will usually paint through it. But the way I wanted to do this one, yeah, I should have. But all right, so let's go ahead and do this other side real quick.
So PVC board does expand and contract. Just to let people know, it doesn't. It's not. It isn't something that's going to stay. If it goes really cold to freezing and it gets really hot in the summertime, between about 60 and 80 degrees, it changes about 1/8 of an inch. It will expand and contract. So, or 1/16 of an inch. Yeah. I know I've done some buildings where we used to use this for fascia and barge, and we used to have to leave gaps in them. But it's just like metal.
Okay, but it's not too much, and it's not going to warp on you though. Or at least it shouldn't.
No.
All right, so now I'm just going to put my other clamp on this. And then while this is drying, all right, yep, for the audio listeners, we got this together, and I'm just going to let this dry for a little bit. And while that is drying, we're going to work on something else for this build. And that is going to set up move this to the side for a second. We're going to get ready.
You're not going to. Quincy is asking if you're going to nail it as well. I don't think you are, right? You're just relying on the glue.
I will when I get to using the drill press. I'll fire up my compressor because it's really loud, and that way it'll go ahead and start filling up. Doing that for a few minutes, and once that's done, then yeah, I will go back through before I pull that, and I'll use my nail gun, and I'll go ahead and put some nails into it. You could always go back through if you wanted to use security screws and put those back into the back of there as well. That would work as well. But yeah, we're gonna get to using the drill press here in a minute, and that I'll fire that up, and I'll mute my microphone for that because I don't want it to drown everything out. But what I wanted to do on this next section is, to this shot here, is that I wanted to set it up for where my LEDs are going to go. And I want these LEDs to go in every inch. So I'm just going to kind of come through here really quick and put my marks on.
I wouldn't use silicone on PVC. Quincy asked that same question, and he asked if you could use silicone on PVC. I wouldn't use silicone on PVC unless you're just trying to seal something after the glue. But
right,
if you try it, let me know. I've not tried it.
I put silicone on one of mine on the where I had some LEDs coming through, just to kind of make sure that it's watertight there. But I haven't used silicone to actually set it, if that makes sense. Now, the other thing that I have gotten is, and I'll have it over on my other shelf, and I have used this, and this actually works really well. And I'll grab that real quick. Is this? It's called Platinum Patch, and it's for advanced exterior filler. And this actually works really well. It works on PVC, and I've used this to fill in holes on PVC and then sanded it down. And this works really, really great.
Yep.
I had to clean up a few holes in there, so it's multi-purpose. It's hard to find. I end up having to go ahead and order this on Amazon itself. I tried finding it at different stores, and every time they were out. But this is a great filler for using on PVC as well.
Yeah. Then I was going to mention that if you want to end up using, I would always use 2 fasteners. So a mechanical and an adhesive or a glue type of fastener.
Right.
You can also cut plugs out of your PVC with plug cutters and actually glue those back in there. Okay. But that's an option if you want to do that, and then you sand it flat and you'll never know that they're even there. So,
okay.
But anyways, yes.
All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mute my microphone, and I'm going to switch up cameras. And
so Trikash just said Cortex screws are great for use on PVC.
Yeah.
They have white plugs that make the screws almost disappear. And they do. And they actually, I believe one side of the plug is textured and the other side isn't. So you can try and line up if you're doing a decking, you can try and light up the.
Right. I have seen those. I'm trying to use a lot of different stuff that
grain. Yeah.
everybody uses. So, all right. So let me go ahead and kick this over here.
Yep. Nope. Go for it. You're good.
We're going to go to that. And I just want to get this, my compressor on this. Like I said, this thing is noisy as it fires up.
Yeah. Peter Rabbit asked, it says goop works better than silicone. Maybe I've not tried it, honestly. I just use PVC glue. What's recommended for the material. So maybe I'll have to get some goop and try it sometime. So you see here, Derek is drilling. It looks like holes, 5mm LEDs is what I'm thinking he's using. So he probably doesn't have a 5mm bit, but it's probably pretty close. Like what is it, 5/16 or something like that is 5/32 is 5mm, something like that. So, so you can see he's just drilling through there. Drill press work great because, this is PVC too. I believe he's drilling in. If you're using it in acrylic, it tends to crack easier if you're using a hand drill, but a drill press seems to be a lot nicer. Gary's responding here. Interesting question, Pierre. I'd be more concerned of the cold weather causing it to shrink back and crack apart at the joints. This is a valid concern. We experience -4 degrees frequency. So yeah, if you get that cold, we don't get that cold here where I'm from in Seattle, very, very rarely. So yeah, I don't know. I've not built a cache though out of PVC. I have to make one sometime.
Okay, so all right, so we'll see if I got enough in there. But yeah, all I really did real quick was just kind of put the holes into this, and that's just going to be for the LEDs that are going to be going through it itself. So I just did those real quick, and like I said, the LEDs are going to be mounted into this, and then they're going to be mounted into here, and this is just gives it kind of hide the cabling as it goes through. And the lights that I'm using, or the LEDs I'm using, are actually UV lights. So everything, when I go back and repaint inside the box, it's all going to be black light sensitive or UV sensitive paint. So, and that's going to be, I think that's going to be really a lot of fun. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of come through and start putting the LEDs into here. And like I said, that's just going to cause, and I'm just going to kind of daisy chain it or just bring them down as far as they'll reach and just kind of tag them all together. And these, a lot of times when we're using our LEDs that we've used the pre-wired ones, the black is positive and the colored is negative. This brand, which is the Edgelick, did it correctly. The colored is positive and the black is negative. So just kind of something that
there's lots of brands that have that, depending on what brand you buy. So always double check it when you get it.
Right. It's just all the ones that I've gotten previously were the other way.
So is that LED sticking all the way through that board?
It's just about, it's almost all the way through. It's just right to it's almost flush with it. And I could probably go a little bit. Say again?
That will get the spread you need. You don't need to countersink a tiny bit of
no, I don't think
slightly
so.
bigger bit. Okay.
I may have to, but I don't think it will. That's why I wanted to go with a whole bunch of it. So it should flood it pretty well. And this is going to be on both sides. So if I need to go back and countersink, I'm not going to glue it in place yet until I actually really see how it's going to be. And that's just kind of part of testing.
Yeah. So Ryan's asking if the piece is also PVC and what its groove is used for.
Yes.
I believe you're hiding the wiring in the groove, right?
Right. So the wire is just going to go right into the side there. So it's just going to kind of hide it in place.
Nice.
So that's
going to be nice. That's a really nice.
Just adds a little bit to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Just makes it, hides it. And then the other aspect of this that I'm going to be doing is I don't want the finder to have to come and bring batteries. So I'm going to be installing batteries into this. And what's going to happen is I'm going to be adding a reed switch to it. So the reed switch, so when they open up the door to this, it'll fire it up. And I think this would be cool as a night cache, but areas here around Memphis, it's hard to do night caches because a lot of the trails are not open at night. So that's trying to find a place that I could be able to do that. Will be kind of, we'll see what happens. Because a lot of places close down at night because of safety issues here in Memphis. Yeah. So there's like green trail that says do not be on at night. So yeah, there's some different places I would like to put it, and I think it'd be kind of cool. But just for safety for people, it may not be a good idea to. Okay. So that one goes there. Okay. So what I want to do is keep the smooth side to the board and smooth side on the inside.
Yeah.
So
Bell and move. Derek will add affiliate links later on. Yes. Obviously he can't do it during the show. And
what is that? So, what was he asking?
He wants to know if you're going to add affiliate links. So I'd imagine for the LEDs, if he's talking about the paint, I would go to Home Depot and buy it because that stuff on Amazon is probably like $20.
Right. I bought the paint today at Lowe's.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so what I'm going to do is kind of I don't know if I'm going to sit here and wire all this tonight, due to time wise.
Well, we get the gist of what you're doing.
But yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's just going to kind of, as I run these down here and then set up the reed switch. Now the reed switch that I'm using, so as you can see, I'll get to the reed switch in a second, but so these will just come down and I may have to make some adjustments because that may be that groove may need to be widened up a little bit as I'm looking at some of this, or I may come down and just attach and just see about how just running one all the way down somehow. I may have to daisy chain this down. I've been thinking about this too, and it's just trying to figure out which is going to be the best way, but I should be able to bring this over. So once I get it in place, that'll just kind of lock in place. And like I said, I may just run and widen this up just a little bit more.
So you're going to run 2 lines of LEDs.
Right, on each side. And I may end up doing a third. I may do one across the top too.
All going to depend on how it turns out, huh? What you can see.
Right. And that's part of when I'm doing all the testing. So that's how all the cables, once I get those all lined in there, this will get sealed up just like that.
Nice.
With all the LEDs. Now come out through the bottom or be up just a little bit on the bottom so it's not crushing those cables. And the reed switch will be on there as well. So this will have to connect into the reed switch. Now the reed switch that I'm using is this reed switch here. And I'll put affiliate, like I said, after the show, affiliate links will be going into the description as well. But this is a great reed switch because it's both. It's the NC and the NO. So never close, never on, open. And so you can decide which way you want that to be. And really great reed switch. So your one line would come in through the common, and then whichever one you wanted. So if you wanted the door when it opens to turn the lights on, you put it into the NO. If you want it when it closes, you put it into the NC. So that's how you would making sure I said that right. Yeah. And so then this would be on the door, and this would be on inside the box itself, this one here. And let me hold this up a little bit closer to the camera. So this has both terminals. So you come into the common, common's right here.
Normally,
and then you come then the other same line. So whatever. So if you run your negative into here, you run your negative out of whichever one of these here. And that one, the magnet, which is in this side, comes together. It'll either open it or close it. That reed switch.
Yeah. So these are a standard window or door reed switch sensor that you get. And they're nice because it has both normally open, normally closed. You don't have to buy one or the other.
Right. So this gives you kind of the idea of what's going to happen here. And like I said, these will get mounted once I get the shelf into place here in a little bit. Now I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna see if my nail gun, if I got it charged up enough to actually be able to nail this in place, because I'm gonna probably end up having to do the same thing with this as well. And I'm just because I was looking at how that was separating. So I'll go ahead and pull the birdhouse back over here, and before it comes across, I'll do one side, nail it, and then the other side I won't. So, but you're right. It's probably going to work best with the glue and on this one because of the paint with the glue and the mechanical fastener as well. So that's what I'm going to do real quick. So let me go ahead and walk over there and grab that. I'll let you talk for a second, Chad.
Yep. Yeah, no problem. Go back here through some of the comments. Yeah, Gary, I realized after I said that did come. That wasn't your question. So thanks. But let's see here. The milled groove in the back, it's a dado, if people are wondering. So there's rabbits and there's dados. What he did back there is a dado groove, typically is what you would call it. You could do a rabbit.
I could have also done that on my router, but I didn't. I didn't do it actually on my table router this time.
You still on your table saw?
Yeah, I just did it on my table saw.
Nothing wrong with that. So you could do a rabbit on the back sides of the boards as well. And the purpose of that also is to kind of give it more gluing surface. So you'd actually add a 90-degree angle that would give you more surface for the glue to adhere to. So, but it really doesn't matter with that glue and being PVC and then using a mechanical fastener as well as the glue. I think it's gonna be just fine.
Right. Okay. So we'll see if we got enough charge on my nail gun.
Bill on the move wants to know if you're going to use your new jigsaw tonight.
He wants to see me what? Use my jigsaw?
Yeah, says I'd appreciate if Derek would use his new jigsaw tonight. LOL.
I don't know if that's actually going in or not. I see it making the divots, but I'm not sure if it's going in or not. Well, if it is, we'll find out. If it's not, we'll find out too. I might not have got enough pressure in it.
Yeah.
All right. Actually,
so you got a new jigsaw?
I did. I did get a new jigsaw for Christmas. All right. So let's. All right. That side seems to be pretty good. And that side seems pretty good.
And are you using a pinner on this or are you using a brad?
It's probably more of a brad.
Like 18 gauge?
I mean, they're really long too. I mean, I think these are inch and a half.
Yeah, those are brads.
Yeah, so I'm using a brad on it.
It's nice because there's a little head on them, so it's actually going to help hold it versus a pinner, which is a 22, 24. It doesn't have a head on it. It's just a little piece of pin that goes in there to hold it.
Right, and it doesn't take much. Okay, you wanted to see the jigsaw. Let me grab it real quick. It's just just my Ryobi cordless. I had my grandfather's, but it started turning on and turning off when I didn't want it to.
That's not good.
No, and it was like maybe 30, 40 years old. So it was time for it to go away.
Mark, correct me on that pin. It's a 23. So I was right in between. I said, what I say, 22, 24? I don't know. I don't read the packages anymore. I just get them out.
Right.
Thanks, Martin.
All right, so what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be putting the shelf into place. And the easiest way for me to be able to figure out how I wanted to do, where I wanted to have my shelf on this was I had some spare pieces of some PVC board, and these are 5.5 inches tall. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them inside, and then I'm just going to when I put this in place, it's just going to be in place, and then I'll glue it. I actually have those a little bit on the inside, so the glue won't actually glue those into place.
That's a really nice way to make a jig to just put your shelf in really easy without having to make any lines or anything.
Right.
You could dado that as well, but with the way he's doing it, I don't think you're ever going to have any issues.
No. So then what I'll do, then I'll put a clamp on here as well, and I'll just kind of make sure that's nice and clamped, and that'll actually cause that to this will get glued in place.
So now, is the part underneath going to be the door or the
right? Okay. So down here, down at the bottom, and so at the bottom of this, we'll have the other door here, and this will be where the log book and everything's at. Up top is where the object to figure out how to get into the log book is going to be.
Cool.
So, and I have to be very careful how I say that because I'm trying not to reveal exactly what I'm doing. So, all right. So once again, I'm just going to kind of go back through, and like I did before, I'm just going to go through here and put the PVC glue on. Oh. You know how hard it is trying to hit this camera, Chad? Of course you do. You do it with us all the time. I'm trying not to get my hands into the glue itself.
Oh, you're not doing any kind of work in your shop if your hands aren't getting dirty.
No, you're not. I know.
I used to worry about the super glue and all the stuff I use on wood, and I just deal with it now. I'm used to it.
All right, so I'm just going to kind of open this up just a little bit. Slide it in place.
Nice snug hold. Nice
snug hold. And then grab my clamps, which are somewhere. Well, there they are.
To your right.
Yeah, I put them on my.
I'm just guessing. I can't see.
Yeah, I put them on my my table router when I pull
these
them off.
quick grip clamps are great.
Yeah, I have these, and then I have some other ones, but these are probably the easiest to grab real quick. So now that's in place, and I'll go ahead and let that set. And then what I'll do, the easiest way to find where the edge is once I pull the shelves out, or I have another one, and I want to put those nails, the brads in, I can set it to the side of it and just come up just a little bit, and I can just drop them right in there, and that's going to be right where that shelf is at, all the way around.
Nice.
Because I already have it set for the same height that I needed. So that's really the box there. And now what I'll do is, see if you can see this. I'll go ahead and tilt it back so you can see it. And it's hard to see with the black, but these pieces
that's
here.
Cool. You're not going to see the LEDs either. You're just going to see that black.
Here, right. Yeah. These pieces here are going to be on the inside here, hiding it. But this also gives me a place when I cut the plexiglass to fit in here, except for the bottom part of it. And I may be able to slide this further back, so the plexi will be just right on the edge of where this is. So they'll be able to reach under here and be able to turn. And it's hard to see that I may have to end up, when I go back through and paint, I may put a little bit of an edge or something like this on the Lazy Susan so you can see it itself. But yeah, that'll be right in there. So the plexi will be up here, so they can't actually get to the object in here, but they'll be able to look in there and see what it is. Now, like I said, I'm debating if I'm going to put another run of.
I wouldn't think you would need it with having. What are you going to have there?
I was thinking there's 16.
8 LEDs on each side. That's a lot of LEDs.
Yeah, that's 16 LEDs on there. So I think it should glow the way I want it to. So yeah, I think it'll glow the way I want it to. But yeah, so that's just I think that's going to work out really good. And I love how this black turned out because black on black hides black on black hides things really well. So yeah, so that's going to be really nice. But when and like I said, these are UV lights. So when I go back through and paint, and I have some UV light paint, so when it comes on, it's going to blow out and it's going to look really cool. And like I said, it'll be a really fun night cache because it's, like I said, it's going to light up really a lot. Now, one of the things I will be doing, and here's a question I wanted to ask everybody, and I'm thinking my batteries, and I don't know if it's probably going to be either the 3 or 6 pack. I'm going to figure out which batteries I need, and Chad, you might be able to help me out with that many LEDs. 3 for as long as it's going to be on. 3 of these should be 1.5, so 5 volts.
4.5.
3 double A's should be fine.
4.5.
4.5.
I personally, I think I'd run 4 Ds myself, just because a D will give you a lot more power,
right,
for a longer time, right? So you wouldn't have to do the maintenance on it, but depending on where you're putting it, and
right, and that was my biggest question, because if I put it up in here, which I thought about this as well, it would actually have to be mounted up higher, and I may have to come up with a way to disguise it itself.
Mm-hmm. So if it can be changed, are you thinking?
Right, I would have to have it in here, and I'd have to pull it out somehow and have it disguised inside here, or if I put it up underneath here and just ran the wires up, and then I'd
put it underneath there myself, because you're going to know the code to get in if you need to do maintenance on it and change the batteries.
Right, and that's kind of what I was thinking, is putting it in here and then just running this real simple drill. I can drill a hole in here real quick, pretty easily, even though it is already in place. But I can figure that out where that's going to go.
Ryan mentioned here you could put an angle on your mill there, a slight bevel, so it'd angle more towards the center of the object, which is true. Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea, Ryan.
Yeah. So yeah, this is, like I said, when I'm doing my builds, I'm always figuring things out as I'm going, and I do see inside here where some of the paint has peeled out as I was drawing, and what I'll do is just take the spray paint and come back in and just hit that, or when I'm doing my UV paint, I may do something there as well. So there's a lot of different ways I can hide this, but I cannot wait for this to be finished up this next week and how this is all going to lay in. I'm really looking forward to seeing how these LEDs really, really look with what I've got going on.
Yeah. So Engineer 42 is asking if you'll have electric latch. Are you going to have electric latch, or are you going to have like a barrel?
No, not this. There's not going to be an electric latch on this one. I thought about it, but I thought about it, but I didn't want to have a latch to be able to do something. I wanted them to be able to. This is going to be more of a creative, stylish cache versus I mean, it's going to have some gadgety to it, but it's not going to have. You're going to have to figure out a puzzle in here to be able to actually solve the combination on the inside of it.
Yeah. So you just use like one of the barrel cabinet locks, combination lock, something like that, like something like this. Or just a regular lock. You're going to use some kind of
a regular lock. I think it's just going to be a regular padlock on this one. Okay. Is the cache space in the cache space is good, less work. Otherwise, you would need to remove the plexi every time. And that was my thought too. Now the plexi is going to be put in. I'm going to be using security screws, putting that in place. So I don't want somebody pulling the plexi real easily out and going into it that way. That's why I was able to use regular Phillips screws down here, is because I'm going to have that plexi here in the front. And there's going to be a little bit here. And like I said, there's going to be a little bit of space where they'll be able to reach their finger in and turn it. And the object is going to be in here. So they'll be able to turn around and see that. And that piece is actually going to be 3D printed. So I'm going to be 3D printing a piece that's going to be going inside here. I can reveal that part of it. So, but that's kind of the way I'm building this box. I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry really well because of the paint, and I may go ahead and put some of the nails. Go ahead and put a couple brads in there, real quick. And the easy, like I said, the real easy way. This is 3/4 as well, and this is actually those that have asked how I was going to do it. This is, if you remember. Let's go here. If you remember when I did my build, I did the one where it had the plug on the top and the nail was down through the bottom. I went ahead and went with the one on the bottom for that cache because I think I didn't want to necessarily see this. So this just becomes scrap for me, and I use it for spacers and things. So I can set that right there. And I know my shelf now is right here. So I can come in and very simply, if I can find my nail gun, that's the problem with everything in the shop. Sometimes you can't find, exactly where you put stuff and then you lose it. So I'm just going to knock stuff off on the other side. So I'm just going to kind of come in, use that as a spacer. And
I've muted myself like 6 times now and forgot to unmute it and started talking and realized you weren't listening to me. So I gotta remember to unmute myself.
Something? You said something?
Yeah. One thing I just want to show real quick on what I do for my batteries is I use 4Ds in a sealed container like this. It has a 2mm barrel jack out the end of it, and these are watertight. And you just use double-sided tape or screw it up to something. I recommend these, but I was just looking online. And I can't find them anywhere. So I'll have to keep looking to see if we can add a link. I got these from restroom faucets. So the restroom automatic faucets are battery powered. That's what these came from. I got a whole bunch from that. So I'll see if I can find anything else online.
Okay. All right. So now I've got those in place. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the clamps, and so far so good. Nothing's falling. It's all in place, and that's pretty solid. So
looking good.
So I used the brads, and then I've used the glue itself in there. Now the only other part that's going to get painted and will be the inside of the top here. So once I put that on there, but I wanted to leave this open as I'm working on the inside here to be able to get into it. And I can always, when I'm going back through and painting, I can always paint that other part up here. And I will, this next time I will be running some tape down the sides of it. That way it will be just glue on top of PVC on top of PVC instead of running to the paint. And I didn't think about that when I was painting this today, that peel off like that. I should have, but one of those things I just wasn't thinking. So
I know why, because you're doing a live build.
Yeah, of course, it's a live build. I mean, what have I said? If something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong in a live build. Trust
me, I know. I've learned to ignore it. Tom did mention something here that the batteries can go on. If you do a 2.0 build, it can go in the back in the hidden panel, like you've done before with those child locks, those magnetic child locks. You could do that as well. Yes.
Very true. Very true.
There's all kinds of ways you can make this cache. Myself, right. I do it the way you're doing it and put it inside the log.
I like it down here. This because that's going to be easier. I can open, like you said. I like it down here. Here we go. I like being able to do it down here because then, like you said, I can just simply open up the door here and get into it. Now the door, like I said, the door is just going to come in just like this, and I'm going to where that line is. I'm going to cut it. So this part is going to be two different sections. This section is going to open up. Here it's going to open. So I'm going to cut this where that line is. And so this will open here, and this will be where the container will be for the logbook. And up here, they'll open up the top to be able to get into the other. And this will be fired off by a reed switch. So then once they open the top part of it up, then they'll be able to activate. All those LEDs will activate, and it should be glowing like a Christmas tree in there, and it should look really, really great.
That'll be really cool. I'm excited to see it next week, right?
Yep, I'll be doing the final reveal next week on here. So, and I'm not going
to remind anybody out there, if you want to come on the show, if you have a sci-fi build, shoot us an email at the Gadget Talk Podcast at gmail.com. I'm sorry, I'm not as quick as Derek on this. I'm going to have it up anywhere. Honestly, I don't even know where to find it.
I'm grabbing it. I'm getting it.
Where there, Derek?
So send us an email at gadgettalkpodcast@gmail.com, or you can always tag us on Instagram at Gadget Talk Podcast. Love to see what you're building, everything. And that's what our reveal is. Remember, the challenge is a sci-fi inspired creative or gadget cache, and that's what I'm building here. So, and as I'm looking at this in the shot, that black is really matte, flat black. I mean, that hides.
It's going to be nice.
It's going to be really cool, and I can't wait to come in and paint this on the inside, and then when it lights up with all the UV and just actually seeing it glow, I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, and I may or may not have the plexi on here so that we can really look at it next week, because I don't want it. Well, the part of it will be in there, but I can put the camera in, and you can kind of see some of the aspects of it. Right. Yeah. So next week I probably won't have the plexi on there. I'll have it cut and I'll have it in where I can show you, but I won't have it actually in place so that you can see how that would go. But yeah, I think this is going to be really a lot of fun. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And
DJ W House. Dave said he just finished his for next Tuesday.
All right. I am so looking forward to that. So Dave's on next week with us, sounds like. Anybody else? Do we have anybody else jumping in on there, Chad? Do you see?
I don't see anybody yet, but I will let you know as soon as I do. You'll be on?
Yeah. I'll be on, of course. Of course I'll be on.
I'll try and have something done.
Yeah, next week's kind of crazy. We have we had the qualifiers for our robotics last month, and that was why one night Gary had to jump on for me because we were taping our robot runs that night, and it was going a lot harder than it was all virtual. We're doing another. We should have everything done by then. The robot runs should be done by Monday. We're doing those Monday night, not any other night. So not Tuesday this time. But we are in the championship for the region. In the qualifiers, one of my teams won the champions award, so they got first place, and then the other of our teams got innovation project, which is basically second place. So first and second place in the region. So now we're going to the championship to see if we win the region again. So really excited for the kids to see how they do on that with the robotics. So, and that's Lego Robotics first. So.
Well, I'll say I really like the way you made this cache. I think it's going to be a blast to find. Unfortunately, I guess I had a sneak peek of what's going on, but it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to finding it, hopefully for the Memphis when we're down there this summer.
Yeah, just got to find a place that I can put it. That's
one of the problems with a lot of these fancy caches like this is it's hard to find good places, and then they don't disappear.
Right. So.
Perfect.
Thanks, Scooby Loves Pooh. Yeah, hope they do too. Plus, Nikki's got dance competition herself this weekend, so it's going to be crazy.
That's what you traveled for last weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, I traveled to Alabama last weekend for that, and then this weekend. This one's actually here in town, so it's in West Memphis. So at least we're not having travel because it's 2 days. I get to sleep in my own bed. I don't have to sleep in a hotel bed. Oh, I hate hotel beds.
Yeah, me too.
So. But that's that. Besides next week, something else that's kind of crazy. I don't know if anybody saw this. There is an event in, I don't know, remember the GC, but I'm going to be at it. It's in June 28th, and it's in the east side of Tennessee, and I'll have to pull it up in a second. But it's going to be an epic event as well before Cache Fest because I'm going to be doing one of 41 5.5 virtuals in the world, and that is on a dam. I'm going to be diving scuba diving and going down to get a virtual cache about 55 feet on a dam. So
oh man,
yeah,
I should bring some dive gear.
Yeah,
so that's in Tennessee.
It's in Tennessee. Yeah, it's in Tennessee. It's up a little bit north of Knoxville. So that's June 28th. So if anybody's in the area for that, I'll have to find the GC. I'll put the GC in the description as well for that. But that's an event that's coming up. Besides Cache Fest, be sure to check out Cache Fest. Those that are wanting to do the escape room challenge, as of right now, there are only 10 slots left. So, and once those 10 slots are taken, you're not going to get a chance to do the escape room challenge itself. You can still come to the event, but the escape room challenge will be booked up because that's all that we're going to be able to get through in that time frame that we're there for 3 hours. And remember, this is not an escape room. It is actually like it's a 10-minute challenge. So you have 10 minutes to get through. I don't know exactly how it goes, as much through as what you can in 10 minutes. So
Scooby loves to go, so be Scooby diving. So that'd be tough to do a diving cache in Tennessee unless you live there, because I can't imagine there's a lot of dive shops to go rent gear from.
Believe it or not, there is one here in Memphis.
Really? I guess you got the river there, I guess. I don't know if
but I wouldn't want to dive in the Mississippi. I would not want to dive in the Mississippi. No, in fact, our reviewer here is actually one of the dive masters, and he teaches there as well. So it was funny. As soon as it's published, he goes, "Hey, I think you need to get in for that refresher class." He sends me a message, and I'm like, what just got published? But that's going to be a lot of fun. That's Merlin 1392, I think is what his number is. What is his name? Has published that cache. In fact, let me go ahead and pull it up. I just remembered I have it in a message here, what it is. And it is Merlin 1392, and the event is, okay, find it. GC 9N197. So GC 9N as in Nancy 197, or Nano. GC 9 Nano 197 is the event there. So you go check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And in fact, there is a cache at the dive shop here.
Oh, cool.
And if you go back on my channel, you'll see it. It's like the biggest bison tube I've ever seen in my life.
They should use like an old dive tank and do something with that.
I'm not going to give it away, Chad, but spoiler. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, so be on look on that. So, but next week, once again, don't forget, if you got a cache, Sci-Fi Cache, Inspired Cache, go ahead and send us an email at gadgettalkpodcast@gmail.com, or send us, tag us on Instagram at Gadget Talk Podcast. And once again, that email is gadgettalkpodcast@gmail.com. All right, Chad, anything else you can think of?
No, that is it. I appreciate you building tonight. That was really nice to be on the other side of the camera, I guess. But that's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that next week. I'll have to get something done myself.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to do. Finish this up this week when I find time. But now that this part's done, I can kind of wire things up and then get ready for the next part of it. So
great. And the wiring and stuff will be on your channel at some point?
Right. The wiring, some of that be on there, but probably more of how I'm going to actually painting the cache itself. The inside is probably going to be more on my channel, but that will be after the reveal. So you'll actually we'll be able to go back and see how the final of that is all done.
Nice.
So
great. Well, thanks for building tonight. I appreciate it. If you're watching, hit that like button, of course. We really appreciate it when you do that and watch the videos, and leave any comments if you want to, or send us an email.
Right. And don't forget about the new podcast coming out. Be on the lookout for it. There's the logo. It's a mystery, but you're not going to want to miss it. It's epic. It's going to be on Fridays. I'm not sure which Friday it's starting, but it may be soon. But yeah, it's going to be on Fridays. New host, new time. Probably, I don't even know what time. Probably 8 o'clock normal is what I'd probably suspect. But yeah, it's
8 Central.
8 Central.
Yeah, I think that's
so
the pretty
be on the
standard
lookout
one
for
for our
that.
podcast.
In fact, I see Gary jumping on. Gary, do you want to come on and talk a little bit more about it again, or are you just going to wave me off?
Oh,
here, let's just bring them on.
Okay, all right.
I'm just bringing them on.
So there've been a couple comments that it's like on April Fools. It's like, we're not that smart. So when we started the shows, by the way, we had one start on March 31st. If we'd have thought about it, we just had it moved kind of to make something out of it. But no, Fridays, it just happens that Friday's on. I don't follow all that stuff. I'm not a April Fool.
Well, not every Friday is April Fool. So
no, but
Friday of the month,
yeah, I just don't follow that stuff. So anyway, so yeah, cool. Definitely check it out. I think are we shooting for standard 8 p.m. Derek, do you know?
That sounds good to me because that's
standard time.
Right. Standard time.
Yeah. Well, it's a standard time for the show. It'll be daylight savings time for 8 Central
maybe.
Daylight. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, it may just say 8 o'clock. Remember, everybody agreed that in Congress to get rid of that. So who knows?
Yeah.
It may just be 8. It may just be 8 p.m. Central time.
Central.
Good show. Remember a couple quick things. That is, sign up if you're coming. Definitely sign up for the challenge. Be a lot of fun. If you're going to be there, definitely go to the host hotel. If you stay at the host hotel, you have a pretty good chance at winning a customized gadget cache by the Gadget Boys. So they're going to be able to work with you.
Right. And that's going to be, when we do that, we'll actually have a meeting and it'll be to your specs. You're not going to get one that we just pull off the shelf.
Exactly.
We'll probably do like a live stream and we'll talk about how what do we brainstorm the whole thing and
Good.
build it.
I want mine to be like the size of a TARDIS.
You are not eligible, sir. You're not eligible.
Yeah.
I'm not eligible either because I can't stay at the host hotel.
You might get that's right. You can't. You're not there either. Well, you could technically, but you've got a home.
I could, but I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sleep in my own bed.
Definitely, if you can, and also just to if you don't win that, maybe you'll win you might win a like a Ms. Pac. Yeah, you might win a Ms. Pac-Man coin. Those are not that. Those are pretty rare. And there's some other rare ones too. We're gonna go ahead and give away to the couple of those for the folks that stay there. And it's a good hotel and good rate. So there you go.
So all right.
Perfect.
Well, I think that's it for tonight. Thanks, Gary, for jumping on.
You bet.
Great for the announcement. So all right, everybody, thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed tonight, and we'll see what this is next week.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.